So, hey everyone, my name is Gokan Ozcifci, based in Brussels, Belgium, the capital of Europe. I'm a Microsoft MVP and regional director for the last, I think, 12, 13 years, mainly focusing on doing work with SharePoint and the whole ecosystem with SharePoint, mainly now with AI. And I'm very excited to be part of this interview.
What does it take for a business to stay truly future ready in today's tech-driven environment?
So staying future ready means combining agility, smart tech adoption, and a culture of continuous learning. And that's, I think, the most fundamental part of being future ready. If you learn every single day by investing into yourself, you will get all of it. So from my own experience with SharePoint AI, M365, successful businesses, well, I have 4 pillars to explain you. First is the usage of AI and automation to streamline processes and unlock higher value work. Second is create scalable digital workplaces, not only to work, but to support seamless collaboration across boundaries. Because today, not only Teams or SharePoint is your digital workplace, we also work with other tools within that spectrum. Invest into employee upskilling to maximize technology adoption. Everyone needs to know how AI works. Everyone needs to know how generative AI works. You can't do without real proper training. And finally, data-driven insights by centralizing knowledge management. Today, with SharePoint AI Builder within Power Platform, within the Microsoft ecosystem, it's so easy to get data-driven insights. Why not make them actionable and get insights from it? So in short, it's not just about the adoption of technology, it's about embedding flexibility, intelligence, and continuous improvement in your businesses.
What's your boldest prediction for the future of your industry?
Wow. So my prediction is that AI will turn collaboration platforms like SharePoint into intelligent assistants. Instead of just storing documents and reading documents and manually adding metadata, or just making your portals and sites beautiful, they'll proactively surface insights to myself. Right information on right time to the right person. Draft content. Why should I today still draft content? AI can do that for me, or even suggest decisions. And that's where I think the future is going to. My assistant should provide me decisions and I can take action based on that. Basically, bringing the right knowledge to the right person at the right time. That is my prediction to the future. If I had to summarize, acting on insights.
What trends or shifts in the tech services space do you think leaders are still underestimating?
A lot, if I had to be honest, but I'll try to summarize in order to not upset everyone. But one thread I see leaders still underestimating is the true potential of AI-driven knowledge and workflow automation. Many still focus on tools because they have that tool already in-house. They don't really care about the outcome or the business process. And they don't really understand how the tool today can impact the business results. Another shift is the integration of the digital workplace platforms. Leaders often treat SharePoint, Teams, or other systems as separate tools rather than a connected ecosystem because, SharePoint, Teams are all connected with groups. You can also add a bunch of other layers on top of it. Organizations that leverage those platforms holistically, combining automation, AI, and real-time collaboration, well, this can give you a huge potential in speed, efficiency, as well as in innovation. In short, the underestimated opportunity is huge, but it's not only about technology itself, it's how intelligently AI integrates those platforms and how it can reshape the future.
Number 4, what are 3 things you recommend your clients to consider when evaluating their SaaS purchases?
I've been working with a lot of vendors, and honestly, those are the 3 things we and my customers are looking for. The first thing is integration and ecosystem fits. How does this solution work with the existing platforms, with SharePoint, with Teams, with Power Apps, with Power Automate? Do I have a connector to my data platform? Will it work under Azure and other non-Microsoft core systems? A disconnected tool, unfortunately, creates friction and not value. So that's the first thing that we look at. Secondly, it's the scalability and how do I call it again? The flexibility of that tool. Can it grow and adopt my business needs because my needs are evolving, they are changing, I have new requirements, and a SaaS solution should provide evolving support on workflows, on user needs, on data management, and this all without requiring a complete overhaul. So if I implement today a SaaS solution, it should be future ready. And the last one, it's definitely not looking at the cost, because the real advantage of a SaaS solution is the impact on productivity, the impact on automation, and the impact on insights. If you only look at the price, well, you can miss all the advantages the tool is giving to you. And a tool that boosts efficiency, in my humble opinion, or enables a better decision making due to the fact that it's AI driven or has like AI driven insights, well, it will deliver a way better ROI, return on investment, than the cheapest option. So those three are fundamental in order to consider a SaaS purchase.
Okay. What's something about leading in tech that no one tells you?
Something no one tells you about leading a tech is that less about the technology and it's more about the people. And I've seen that. I do work for the European military, for one of the biggest manufacturing companies in the Benelux region. And we see that if you can't convince people, it's not going to work. If you can't, like have a proper training, if you don't have that mindset of culture shift, well, this is not gonna be good enough. So you can implement the most advanced tools with the most efficient business process, but if your team isn't aligned, trained, or motivated, the adoption will fail. Another aspect is that change never stops. In my sessions, when I present this, I always recommend the attendees to change the change process within the organization to progress management. Change management is from far away, from like 20, 30 years ago. In those days, within the AI era, we all are progressing every single day. And you're every day learning new stuff and you're adapting every day, even outside of your organization, right? When you go on private, you want to drive a car, it's Uber, it's all new technologies across all the boundaries in your life. So leaders must balance a vision with pragmatism and be ready to make decisions with incomplete information. And they would never tell you that, because all that information is there somewhere, but you have no idea where that info is. And to get all that info, you need a very well-defined business process. Successful tech leadership is about creating an environment where people can leverage technology efficiently, innovate safely, and continuously evolve with it. And tech leaders, well, they always need to have that mindset in mind, but they never do, and they will never tell you that. And again, my apologies for those who are listening to us.
Many organizations are experimenting with Copilot and AI inside Microsoft 365. From what you've seen, what use cases are actually delivering business value versus just creating more AI noise?
Yeah. Oh. So what's really interesting to see, and what I definitely see at customers, is the content generation and document drafting within Word or PowerPoint, or even like getting information from Outlook, or even like extracting data from SharePoint. This is really interesting. This is the real business value. And people love to use that. I've seen so many people today just having some bullet points, going to Outlook, going to PowerPoint, and asking to build that for them. Pretty amazing. And a few clicks, it could do it. What I see less, and it's more like about the AI now, is it's within the Power Platform. It is free. I can't say much because it's free. It's not like within M365 where you have to pay for it. But the added value of the AI on Power Automate and Power Apps from a Copilot perspective, not talking about AI Builder, talking about Copilot, is minimum. We have been doing some tests. We have been trying to adopt it. It's not optimal, and it's more about the AI noise. One thing I really want to emphasize and say, like, hey, this is something that every organization today needs to check if there is any business value, because not every organization is the same, is the knowledge discovery in Teams and SharePoint across the M365 Copilot chats. It is part of your license. You can just go and use it. Check it out. It's so easy to gather information, to bring that data, that knowledge back to you. You would be so surprised by how amazing that tool works. And honestly, today, I can't live without it. And that's what I see today. So content generation, document drafting is top number one. The least one used is on Power Platform. And the one that is like the rising star would be like the Copilot chat.
If a company is just starting its AI journey inside Microsoft, where should they focus first for the biggest impact?
The first thing they should really, it's the mindset. They should not be scared. A lot of people today are scared of the power of AI. I know some business leaders, they're absolutely against the power of AI, even though they know it will bring them a better life. The process will be way better. The employee satisfaction is going to be way better. They just refuse. But the first thing is about the mindset. Like, don't be scared. Go learn, teach yourself, educate yourself, and understand how generative AI today works, how large language models are working, how it's working within the Microsoft ecosystem, as well as outside of the Microsoft ecosystem. Because yes, I'm a Microsoft fanboy, but Google is doing pretty amazing with Gemini. I've been using them so far, and honestly, they are doing a pretty amazing job. So I would say don't be afraid, go and check it out. So if a company is starting its AI journey within M365, the most significant impact, I think, comes from one, automating repetitive tasks, and two, improving knowledge management. Those are the fundamental of each company today. And tools such as AI Builder within Power Platform, or Syntax, or the new document processing within SharePoint for content classification, well, those are here to help you. You probably will have to pay a little bit more because those are premium features, but my gosh, those will help you. It's gonna improve productivity from 0 to hero. No one likes to add metadata into SharePoint lists and document libraries, right? Well, you can do that now. No one likes to have a business process where you have to have manual inputs. Well, AI Builder can do that for you. Recently, we've been building a solution for a customer for their satisfaction reports, where whenever they receive an email, we check for the tone, and depending on the tone, we have use cases. If it's very negative, we take one action. If it's very good, we take another action. This manually would require tremendous amount of work. With AI Builder, a few clicks. Those kind of stuff really, as I said, like automating repetitive tasks and improving knowledge management, I think is the most significant impact that they can have today.
In your view, what's the most overlooked governance risk when organizations rush into AI-driven collaboration platforms?
A lot. Literally a lot. But if I had to summarize or give you like my top three, it would be data quality, data security, and data compliance. When organizations rush into AI-driven collaboration, they often assume that AI will automatically handle sensitive information correctly. They think AI will do everything for them. But security doesn't mean AI. AI doesn't mean compliance. It's all up to you to do that. And as a security officer or as an IT person within the organization, without clear policies on who can access what, how AI uses that data, or how the outputs are validated from AI, well, companies are at risk on exposure, misinformation, or even compliance breaches and security breaches. And we already had that. I had that personally for a company where, we didn't really think about all of that because it was like the first baby steps of AI, and our data was exposed to everyone. And you can't just assume that AI will fix things for you. And as I said, very important, data quality, data security, and data compliance. You need to have a strong governance upfront that ensures your AI adding value to your organization.
How should leaders think about balancing control, so governance, compliance, security, everything like that, with agility and creativity that AI brings to collaboration?
That is so complex question. I had to think about it, but what I personally think is leaders should think of it as a guided empowerment Strong governance and security provide the guardrails of the whole ecosystem. And with the power of AI and AI's agility and the creativity, well, that is what thriving when employees can experiment this within those boundaries. By defining clear policies from governance, compliance, or security perspective, monitoring those usages, like who is doing what are my prompts, what is the response, and so on and so forward. And the most important is by educating those business units, teams, people. Well, I think leaders and organizations can clearly unlock innovation without having that problem or compromising compliance and security. Because education is so fundamental, and I think so many people think AI is part of our ecosystem. No, it's not. It is not because you can use ChatGPT that suddenly you're the AI expert and you can do whatever you want within your applications, your business processes. You know what I mean? In organization, I think we need to have those proper trainings for prompt engineering. It is so fundamental to know how to write those prompts. And if you know how to use your AI, well, it should be very strong, provided by IT from a governance, compliance, and security perspective. That governance should be well strong. Otherwise, it's going to be problematic.
The digital workplace has always been centered on intranets and portals. With AI advancing so quickly, do you see SharePoint remaining the central hub, or is the model shifting?
Always. SharePoint, always. It's in my heart, SharePoint. So short answer, yes, but there is a but. Yes, but SharePoint will remain as a central hub for structured content and knowledge management, that's for sure. But the model is shifting. It is slowly shifting. With AI, the focus from static portal, static data, static pages, we are moving to intelligent, context-aware experiences where information is proactively surfaced in Teams, Outlook, and other apps. And Loop is a fundamental example of that. I'm a huge fan of Loop components, where my data is non-static, it's dynamic. I can change that data from Outlook, from Teams, from the Loop page, from the components. And what was fundamental for us is even within an email, when you send that data outside, well, you can go to the sent items and then change that Loop component, and the data is reflected even in the other person's mailbox. You know, that shift is also happening with SharePoint. Essentially, I think is the correct wording, SharePoint becomes the new engine that powers AI-driven connected digital workplace or workforce rather than just a place to store documents.
What does the future of digital employee experience look like when AI is woven into every workflow?
The question is that technically possible? I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure if we can have AI for every workflow in today's workforce, but for sure, if it was the case, it should have been seamless, seamlessly personalized, and proactive. AI will need to anticipate the needs, surface the relevant information, automate routine tasks, and provide insights in context, not like a SharePoint workflow as we've been known before, but really like provide insights in context. So myself, my colleagues, my employees can spend less time searching and managing the work, but have more time in order to make those right decisions, have more time for innovate business processes, workforces, and make it a better place to live for everyone. Essentially, if that would be an option, like having AI in every workflow, I would expect that AI becomes my virtual coworker or my virtual copy embedded in that workflow to boost my productivity and engagement. But again, I have high doubts if with today's technology we can use that, because the AI that we use today within SharePoint, Power Platform, and Copilot is not the AI that I'm expecting yet. Until we get actionable data-driven insights, we are not there yet.
How do you see AI changing the relationship between IT and the business side of the organizations in the next 3 to 5 years?
A lot, and it's going to dramatically change. Let me give an example from my own experience. When I started with IT, I started with SharePoint 2007. I was the one that should actually create the sites. I was the one that actually should do the backups, archiving. I was the one that should create the document libraries, the lists, the workflows, the apps, the portals, and so on and so forward. With the modern era within SharePoint and other platforms, well, it shifted a bit side the business, like I'm providing the foundation, the fundamentals, and you provide, and you manage your site, you use your site, and you add the content you want, and you create and maintain that content. With AI, now we are moving to actually a way where I provide that foundation, I guide you through, I support you, but all the rest is up to you. All those citizen developers, low code, pro code, all those AI-driven tools and solutions, they are meant that businesses can actually rely on those AI-driven tools and mechanisms and engines to actually achieve more with their business processes than with me, because I'm going to only slow them down. I have processes, I have a calendar to respect, I have a bunch of things to do, but if they get that solid foundation, that tool, and they know what they need to do, well, as IT, I have nothing to do anymore. My role within 3 to 5 years is either guide them through the platform that I have maintained, built, and provided the governance, and support them to get the most of it.
How can executives cut through the hype and focus on sustainable, long-term digital transformation instead of short-term tech experiments?
I had one CEO from one of those, I think the biggest insurance company in Belgium, which said AI is a gadget. And all those high things you show me, Gokan, they're gadgets. I'm still a mainframe guy. Okay, fair enough. But that was the only one from the hundreds of people I've met before. But still some people exist. And what I think is that executives, CEOs, CTOs, CIOs, well, they should all, focus on outcomes and not those gadgets. It's not because you have that tool in house that you should use it. And I've seen that a long time ago. Like they have some tools, they have some knowledge, and they want to resolve a use case, a requirement with the existing tools. It's not going to work. You have to change, you have to adapt, you have to progress within your time. It's all about investing in solutions to drive real productivity, collaboration, insights, rather than having those short experiments that don't scale. At the end, it's all about scalability, right? You can start with a gadget, as Philip back in time told me, with a gadget, but if that gadget is scalable enough, well, it could become a huge potential. But that mindset should definitely change. Focus on outcomes, not anything else. What is the need? What is the problem? What is my outcome? And yes, money plays a big role. I agree with that. And if every vendor could be the same price, we would have zero problems, but that's not possible, unfortunately.
Yeah. Technology adoption is as much cultural as it is technical. What skills and mindsets do you think organizations need to develop to prepare an AI-driven workplace?
Curiosity, number one. Be curious. Curiosity, adaptability, the learning mindset, all of those needs to be there, because as you said, yes, it's cultural, it's technical, but it's more cultural. So don't be scared. Go adapt yourself, learn. Microsoft is giving you a bunch of free options to learn and to test and to figure things out. And I'm pretty sure every manager across the globe wants to hear from you how you can improve any business process within the organization. But if you are like 99% of people I work with, I start at 9 and I finish at 5, and please don't change that button because I've been clicking on that button for the last 15 years. Well, yeah, no, that's not going to work. So every employee, if you ask me, should be comfortable experimenting with those new tools. And that's the responsibility of the manager. It's up to the manager, to the executive, to the lead, to make that environment that people will say, oh, wow, there is something new. Let me try that out. Understand the possibilities of the endless of AI and collaborate with those tools with the input of AI across boundaries, across entities, across teams. Leaders, they need to understand that, and they need to build a culture of trust and accountability, ensuring AI is used in a responsible way. But that mindset definitely is needed in every organization today.
We're on the same page.
Yeah.
If you had to give one piece of advice to organizations trying to future-proof their workforce, what would that be?
Future-proof. It's, again, as the previous questions, it's all about culture. Your leader, your executive, well, should focus on building a culture of continuous learning, continuous progressing, continuous XYZ, and equip your team to embrace new tools, experiment safely, and turn insights to actions. If you want to stay future-proof, I think those are what you need, because if you have a closed mindset, you're close to learn, you're close to progress, you don't want to embarrass new tools, well, that's going to be problematic. And a workforce is only a workforce if it can evolve with new technology in the best way to be future-proof ready. Because there is a huge and fundamental difference between being future-proof and future-proof ready. Because it is possible that you are working on a very old legacy system that you're transitioning to new systems, but then you make it as future-proof ready as a step, and then go for the future-proof, right? And it's not easy, but that can only come by building that culture in the organization.
Great point. Yeah. Okay, next one. You've worked extensively at the intersection of IT and business. Why do so many digital transformation projects fail to bridge that gap?
Because of this, we don't listen. I'm being honest, IT people, well, we don't listen. We don't listen to the needs. We don't listen to the problems. We don't listen to people. And that's the problem. Like if we, and I'm including myself, right? If we could focus like on outcomes, on problems, on deliverables, on what the businesses need, rather than technology, because we are all freaks. I have to admit, I love technology. My colleague loves technology. My friend loves technology, but it's not about technology. It's all about who is using that technology. And if we don't listen, well, it's always gonna be that huge gap in between business and IT. And the second thing, if I may explain, is the siloed approach. When there is a need within ITM, they build their knowledge internally, they discuss internally, IT is never involved, or vice versa. When we decide to move from project X to project Y, from tool A to tool B, we literally never involve businesses behind, and we just maybe have one or two people listening to us and get some input, but we don't really listen to them. And when they work on isolation, well, solutions are developed in silos, they are disconnected, underused, redundant maybe, and that is actually what's preventing organizations to be fully impactful. And I have to admit, it's mainly 99% our fault, IT's fault, but that's what I effectively see. Yeah.
Intranets have been around for decades, yet so many organizations still struggle to get them right. Where do you see most intranet projects falling short today?
Well, the thing is with intranets is when you start with intranet project is, why do I do this and which problem will it going to resolve? If you just build a site for building a site and just have the canteen menu and like some official off days, well, it's not going to be used. Again, I may be repeating myself, but you need to look to the user needs. portals, websites that are built for technology, but not for people's using them, doesn't make any sense. The content moderation, if you don't have a governance for your content, who is adding them, who is managing them, who is maintaining it, well, it's definitely gonna fail. Your weak governance about permissions, about standards, about ownership, if you don't have them, this is gonna fail. Disconnected systems. Oh, I have the world's best SharePoint website as an intranet, but does it work with other systems? No. Can I use it as a foundation to other systems? No. No interaction, nothing. Well, yeah, you probably have the best website, but it's not gonna work. Adoption, if you don't organize trainings, no engagement, no surveys, well, you will never know how the business is using it. And finally, and the last point, which is still today problematic and which I still have no solution for it. For all the rest, I think there is a solution, but it's like the limited personalization. Like today, it's a one-to-many relationship. It's one website for everyone in the organization. If you're 5 in the organization, it's all good. But if you're 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 people, well, you can't fit for everyone. And there should be some way to make it context aware and role specific, role context for end users. And that is one of the main of the points I'm telling here is many points where projects are failing today. We need to have that workforce, that project, that intranet, which is not anymore a one-to-one or one-to-many, but a many-to-many relationship. I have a team of IT. When I go to my intranet, it should talk to me. I'm not interested in seeing, like stuff that I'm interested into. It should talk to me, context aware, role aware, stuff like that. And people don't think about
that. Many companies focus on tools first, processes second. How can leaders flip that mindset to ensure technology actually solves business problems?
Never, because money is involved. The dollar, the Benjamin is involved. It's technically not possible. And maybe some people have succeeded. I never could succeed. On a more serious way, tech leaders, CTOs, CEOs, like people who actually are paying for the tool, and which has very return on investment on that tool, well, they will always go for, like on the tool, on its cost, on the amount of mandates it requires to be installed, on to be adopted, and they will always go for the cheapest numbers. And honestly, the only person or people who are literally taking care of the tool is the people who are using it. And my advice to any company, to any executive is make that decision by the people who are going to use it. You as IT, what you could do, and I always do that, is I organize an IT industry day, I said it correctly, within organizations. And I invite every vendor, every partner, every company that I know and say, you know what? I have customer ABC. You can come and present your tool within 1 hour. You have 1 hour to convince them. And I do that for 5-6 vendors. And then it's the business who says, without knowing the price, they rate them. Okay, this is very good because I can do this. This is bad for this. This is good for that, and so on and so forward. And then with that report, you can go to that company, to the CEO of the company, to the CTO and say, okay, I know you have the prices, but this is my needs, and this is what it can be resolved with that needs. And this is a way on help the companies focus on the process first, on resolving on that process first, then the tool.
Many organizations struggle to define ROI for their digital workspace. Beyond cost saving, what other metrics really matter?
The smile. That's number 1 in my list. Is my employee happy? Are they happy to use my digital workplace? Did they save time on their task? Did they find information on a better way? And did they have a duplication of work, or did they save some work? So smile is the number 1 metric to me. Like, you can see it, right? If people are claiming it's not good, if they're not happy, it. So smile is number 1. The collaboration effectiveness is number 2. like increased cross-team collaboration, communication, project completion speed, or the knowledge sharing. How does that go? Are people happy to collaborate with IT? Is IT happy to collaborate with marketing? How does that team work? How is the outcome of that collaboration together? That's number 2. The quality of decision making is number 3. How quickly and on how accurate can a team act and get that insight and take decisions based on that? The innovation impact. When I have my digital workplace, they have the smile. That's good. They love their work, but are they aiming or willing to improve, to innovate? Will they come with better solutions? Like, will one of my employees come and say, you know what, Gokan, you did this on this way, but I've seen that we could do it in another way, which could do this and this and this. Like, this is also one of the metrics I'm definitely looking for. And finally is the retention and satisfaction of the employee. Like, getting those surveys, learning from them, like getting their feedback, improving, and always having that loop of progress with the digital workplace. Those metrics, maybe some of them are not real numbers, because I'm not a number guy. I'm telling you just now, maybe I should have told you at the start, because I'm a soccer fan, football fan, for those Europeans. And Sir Alex Ferguson once said, numbers are just like mini shoot in French. They don't show all. It's like the same. It's numbers give you a lot of things, but it's never equal to one smile. Like, numbers, maybe someone is happy at 75%, but it's not going to be the smile as someone working on their digital workplace. So those 5 would be my 5, like metrics, statistics, actions, insights they really need to look for.
What skills do modern employees need to thrive in increasingly digital workplaces?
A bunch, like literally a lot. It's not something that you get it from next day, but I would say like digital literacy, be comfortable using those tools, be good with cloud platforms and AI-powered applications, you need to I'm not going to say master that skill, but at least understand the foundation and the fundamentals of it. And you should not be close to change. And we know within the cloud era, every organization as a vendor, Amazon, Facebook, Meta, Microsoft, they change every day, every moment. Something that you're used to be, can so quickly change that you should not be that closed-minded people. And one thing that you should also have as a skill is the critical thinking and problem solving with AI. You will see errors that no one has ever seen in their life. Generative AI, that's the fact. It's not like 20 years ago when you had like an error log in the event viewer in Windows Server. You could go on Google, search for the event viewer, and 1 million or 1 zillion people already had that, and you find one blog post and you can resolve it. No, it's not the case. Unexpected errors, some completely absurd result from AI, which you say, how dare come you to that answer? And you can't troubleshoot because it's just a prompt. So that critical thinking and problem solving is very capital. Again, maybe repeating myself, but creativity and innovation is also one skill that you need to have, because sky is the limit. When you have AI under the hood and you really know how to use, let's say, AI builder within the Power Platform or SharePoint AI to extract content and extract metadata and classify content, you can build those business processes that are so cool and so effective that your organization can win hours and hours and hours in manpower. So be creative. Don't be scared. Don't have that closed mindset. Embrace those new tools. Get that cloud platforms and AI-powered applications under the knee and enjoy that new ride, if I may say, that AI journey just started for many of us. So don't be afraid.